Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of NoHoldBarredPod this week. That's still Sal.
Hiya, still here.
And I'm still Don, obviously. Yeah, there was too much to talk about, so we decided to split it up again this week. Too much stuff. Sal just mentioned there was a trigger warning in part 1 because of something we're about to talk about now in part 2. So I'll let Sal talk about that.
Double trigger warning now.
Yeah.
So, note the trigger warning is because it's International Suicide Awareness Day or week. I can't remember which. Mm-hmm. But it is a really, really serious subject that we should pay a lot more attention to. And I don't want a soggy moggy to have to discuss this. Can you go away and dry yourself, please? Go on. You're wet and horrible. And I would like to use it as somebody who's got a long history with depression and mental health issues. I went through a thing about 5 years ago where I discovered that at the time I thought my brain was dying. I was on a sofa. I was taking unbelievable amounts of prescribed medication that on a sheet would blow your head off. It's startling what I was on back then.
Yeah.
Over decades of having issues, obviously I've got pain because of my spine, and a lot of the stuff I was on was from my physical pain problems. And I just got worse and worse and worse. And about 5 years ago, I couldn't get to the end of a sentence without forgetting what I was talking about. I genuinely believed that my brain was dying because my memory was my life was...
Yeah.
And everything was just horrendous. And I was preparing to, not be around for much longer. Because nobody could help me other than have to take these tablets. There's nothing else we can do. And I was very much on my own thinking, well, that's that then. Okay. That terrible wasn't particularly bothered about it. In fact, I was so... I don't want to use the word irrational, but it was irrational because my brain was broken.
Yeah, right.
But when COVID came along, I couldn't have given less of a shit. I was delighted because I was like, well, be quick, And people kept telling me I was mad, and I kept getting invited to go into the mental health unit, and I knew I wasn't mad because I was... How can I describe it? I was sane and kind of rational in my thinking, but I was so dysregulated is the best way I think to describe it, when you're not comfortable in your own skin or your body. And it wasn't just about pain, it wasn't just about being in spasm. I couldn't explain it except to say it felt like every cell in my body was working against me, and I was just the severe end of the discomfort scale. You could never call it pain, but it's... Akathisia is based on restlessness, a lot of the symptoms. In fact, I've got a link here because obviously I've got my experience, and then there's general things that most people experience, because we're all very unique. And there it is. Yay. But it's a very silent neurological disorder that causes incredulous amounts of distress. And the only reason I figured out that I had it was because a friend of mine sent me a book on brain plasticity. Now, if you've never heard of brain plasticity, which most people have not, it describes the fact that the brain is essentially plastic and it can regrow and repair itself in the right environment with the right nutrients. Now, nobody had ever told me that. I thought, when you lose your brain, you lose your brain. Witness dementia, witness... the irony.
Go on.
What's the name of the condition? I can't fucking remember.
Alzheimer's? Yeah, just like say we're not laughing at that. It's just ironic.
It's the irony of my broken brain.
Yeah.
But I have... So my friend sent me a book on brain plasticity, and I was like, oh God, I'm not dying. I can fix it. Hey!
Yeah.
And it's another book that I got to about 2 chapters in and went, oh, great, I'm going to be fine now, and put it down. I haven't finished reading it stupidly. I must do that. But that sent me down a research rabbit hole where I found Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a weird little paradox when that man saves your own life. But he did, because he was suffering from the same thing for similar reasons. And
Yeah.
he ended up having to go to Russia to get diagnosed and to hear about this condition. And for me, there are many different ways you can get it. Medication-induced neurotransmitter imbalance, withdrawal from medications, predisposing factors such as people with drug sensitivity or family groups who are drug sensitive, drug interactions, psychiatric disorders like underlying schizophrenia or bipolar may contribute. And, it could be genetic factors, and drug metabolism falls into what I've just said. But there are many things that can exacerbate it. For me, it was guaranteed, because I was taking a toxic amount of big pharma, and it fried my brain. And I don't know for how long, I just know what it led to. And I ended up presenting because I was getting worse, and they sent me to a psychiatrist at the local mental health unit who prescribed me an antipsychotic. And I'm like, I'm not psychotic. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a danger to anyone. I'm a danger to myself, but only because my quality of life is so fucking poor and I'm in pain all the time. And utter confusion, because at this point I had theories on politics, but they were so insane that I was questioning my own sanity. Turns out I was absolutely fucking accurate on every point. While people were telling me I was mad, qualified people, mental health workers. You were just ahead of the
game,
telling me, you're losing it, you're not rational. I'm like, but why are you gaslighting me? I mean, to gaslight a mentally ill person, it takes another level of psychopathy. But they do, because that's their perspective. They're expecting to see people displaying mental illnesses. When in fact, it could be the environment making that person react differently to standard, regular human behaviour. So it's a minefield. And in fact, just to back up that claim, I tweeted about it earlier, and as usual, it's got absolutely no bloody uptake. But somebody did respond to me. Can't be too far down because I haven't done much today. Oh, I retweet too much. Oh, come on, dude. There it is.
Holy shit.
What's happened?
Do you know the far-right American commentator Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
Have you seen him? He's been shot.
Yeah.
It's just happened now. He's on stage, and he's in front of a crowd of people doing one of his usual bollocks things, and it looks like he's been shot in the neck.
Well, you reap what you sow, don't you?
I don't like the man. He's horrible. I'm just saying that's breaking news. Sorry, we often get breaking news.
It's just like Farage, isn't it? I'm going to be awful and cause all this hate and harm. Oh, don't be throwing milkshakes at me.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck
Sorry, I've disrupted it. Yeah, carry on. You got your.
Did you make it?
Your tweet. It's literally just happened.
Yeah, right. And I had somebody reply to my tweet earlier saying, my wife is currently going through it now, but it's all being denied. Yeah. She's getting told it's anxiety, personality disorder with medically unexplained symptoms, whilst change meds all the time, making matters worse. Wow. This is what we face. It's not, and I swear down, because I know what I've been through. And I wouldn't wish that on a Tory, because for me, at its most acute, I couldn't stay still. And I was, even then, I was only getting 5-6 hours kip on a good night. And when the akathisia kicks off and you go through an acute phase of it, I would go, for 72 hours without being able to sleep. And even if you're a healthy person, 3 days with not being able to sleep will inevitably create conditions that your brain will not be happy with.
No,
and when you're under so much fire taking the medication, and then you go to see the people who are supposed to help you, and then they gaslight you. And people commit suicide. Hell fucking surprise. But then I've been since I figured out what was wrong with me. And I still can't get all the therapies and the neuro care that I need. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So I'm doing everything I can off my own back. But where was I going with that? But you will. In fact, I went to see a locum GP about 6 months ago, and he told me. I think I must have mentioned the akathisia bit, because the upshot of me having the akathisia is I now avoid all pharma I can, unless it's life-saving stuff that I need.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've had a colonoscopy with no anaesthetic. That I avoid. I go through that 3 times a day because everything inside's glued together. So that was interesting. But the only thing I'll occasionally take is tramadol or paracetamol. And cannabis. Everything else I avoid like the plague. I could really probably do with some diazepam, which ironically is one of the things you can take to fix it, but I'd rather stick it out as long as I'm improving. But I struggle to keep track of what I'm talking about. There's just, I wish somebody could live inside my brain, because the executive functioning is graft.
You were just saying about the locum GP.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And he told me he was a trauma expert. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up talking. I was like, well, because of the akathisia, you do know what akathisia is. And there's a lot of people with a lot of egos who will go, oh, yeah, I know what it is. So then I say, oh, okay, then. No need to explain it to you. Then at the end of the session, he tries to prescribe me antidepressants. Now, if he knew what akathisia was, that's not where he'd go with that, because that's what can exacerbate it and lead to people killing themselves. It's related to restless leg syndrome and so it's something else which I cannot remember. But if you're prescribed anything by your GP for mental health or pain, because they're very fond of giving antipsychotics for nerve pain because they think it might work off-label, be cautious. And if you are not feeling better, go back to your GP and tell them you are not feeling better, and upping the meds may not help. It may not be that med suitable for you or whatever. I'd say go and do your research, because I've been med-free for 5 years now, having been told that I would be on tramadol and morphine for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like top dose every day. No.
Yeah.
No, there are other ways and means. They just don't profit anybody.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
So that's my PSA on akathisia. I'm sorry it was rambling and all over the place, but
no, it's fine.
That's the upshot.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's something that I didn't really know much about until you'd mentioned it, and then I had to read about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, got it. Because I think potentially I had something, whether it was that or something similar, when I had pneumonia a few years ago. And the only way I could describe one of my symptoms to the doctor was like this internal trembling, and I couldn't put it any other way. I wasn't able to manifest it or get the words for it. And I was just like, it feels like I'm just trembling inside all the time. And like, I couldn't, and it was like, and I have had restless leg a lot, especially when I've been unwell. And, but that was one of these big things when I had pneumonia. I had this horrible tremors internally, and I couldn't explain it. My hands were steady, but I was like, no, but I'm shaking inside. And that's how I described it then when I had pneumonia. So yeah,
that's intriguing. I felt like I was vibrating all the time.
It's a bit like that. Yeah, it's horrible. Absolutely horrendous thing. Luckily for me, it passed after, well, pneumonia lasted a couple of months, but yeah, that was a horrible part of it. So yeah, I can fully empathize with that. Yeah. Maybe I think the doctors at the time put it down to the medication because I was on so many different antibiotics. I was on like 3 high-strength antibiotics for about 6 months, I think. And I think that's why they put it down to. So maybe you're right.
They can absolutely bugger you right up.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Antibiotics, I mean.
Not nice at all.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
they do. So, yeah, interesting.
I do have a good news story this week.
Yeah, what's that?
That I have not there. Sorry, I'm just trying to drive Twitter. Not very good at it. Still with learner plates. My mate Jason Reed on Twitter, he's fabulous. I've been following him for a while now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to read a tweet he's done because it's something that I've had to do myself. Totally unrelated, but just generally in life. And it turns out that's how we're going to have to work if we want to get anything done. So, let me read Jason's tweet to you. He is at Jason REID UK.
Yeah.
He says, I've been meaning to post an update regarding the discrimination I faced at Specsavers in June when I attended an appointment at one of their branches for earwax removal and was refused treatment because I'm living with HIV, in parentheses undetectable. The resolution, as a result of sharing my experience publicly and bringing it to the attention of Specsavers, working with their head of audiology in a very constructive manner, Specsavers has now issued new guidance documents for all clinicians in the UK. This updated guidance no longer includes HIV as a contraindication for earwax removal, which has prevented the procedure taking place previously, which is mad. Yeah. It's 2025.
I know. I know. I read that same tweet and I had the same reaction. I was like, "What? Really? Is that a thing? That's nuts." But yeah, it is good.
This is the outcome I wanted, to make a change in a very outdated policy in order to truthfully reflect HIV in 2025. Parentheses undetectable equals untransmittable. To turn my negative experience into a positive for everyone living with HIV so that others are not treated unfairly. I am proud of this achievement because, however incremental, chipping away at HIV stigma and any form of discrimination is vital in all walks of life. That's what drives my advocacy. I want to thank Patrick Studwick for the brilliant media coverage in the iPaper, National AIDS Trust for their sage advice and support, everyone who's stood with me, and Specsavers for being open and frank for being open to frank dialogue, and most importantly, change. Well done, Jason. You get the Carol Hedges Award for Common Decency this week. Very good.
Yeah. A very worthy winner. Yeah, I read the tweet earlier in the week when he put it out, and I couldn't believe that was still a thing, as you say, in 2025, that people were still being weird about HIV. But yeah, fair play to Jason. I know, fucking earwax. What did they think was going to happen? The HIV cooties are going to get out your ears. I know, it's madness in this day and age. So, but yeah, that's an absolute result from Jason to get at least a positive outcome on that.
Lovely. But how many people come up against like a blockage like that and take it on themselves? So
yeah,
I love people like that.
Yeah, good on him. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Yeah, and talking of, I had one good news thing that I just wanted to mention, which was, I just wanted to say congratulations to Zach Polanski, because that was happening last week when we were recording, and since we've recorded, he's become the new leader of the Green Party, which is the correct result, in my opinion. I think yours as well.
And, it was so nailed on, I barely paid attention to it, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. But I think one thing I have noticed since he's taken over and won, he's been popping up quite a lot. He's been getting a lot more media attention, which is fantastic, negative and a lot of positive as well. He's had a couple of high-level public defections to the Green Party. I've noticed Reece Dinsdale jumped ship and joined Zach, and I think Narinder Kaur is possibly on the fence with joining the Greens as well. So, yeah, I think good on him. She did put a tweet out the other day to Zach and said, congratulations. Zach Polanski, well done, Zach. Just want to say well done, congratulations.
Yeah.
You have 2 fans on this podcast, and you're more than welcome to ever come on and have a chat if you'd like.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. So what have you got left? You've got a few things. I've got one thing after you. So
I've got a little sports bulletin that's something and nothing, but it just made me giggle. I don't know if anybody knows, I'm a bit of an MMA. Well, not. I was a massive MMA fan. Now I just sort of vaguely follow it, and I know my shit. There's rumblings this week. From Darren Till's camp. There's rumblings in Darren Till's camp, who's a former UFC fighter who has just appeared on Misfits boxing promotion. You know, one of these barely a sport for clicks things. It's all about making money. It's not about like the art of the sport, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So he got released by the UFC. He had a bit of a skid, and he's an interesting character, Till. He's a fighter, so, you know, you can't criticise him for anything else he's shit at, but he's not politically correct. He's very loud, but I do like him because he's quite funny. And he is trying to organise a boxing match with Andrew Tate. Now, I hate to upset everybody, but there's more chance of firing Tate into space in a spacecraft than there is of him daring to get anywhere near Darren Till, let alone signing to agree to fight him, because he would get buried within 30 seconds.
Right, fair enough.
But there's an awful lot of chatter about it, and it's quite entertaining. And just the thought of it, to see Darren Till in a ring with Tate, oh my God, that'd just be delicious, but it's never going to happen. So that was that. My bus driver.
Go on.
No, I'm just trying to rattle through because
I was going to lead off Andrew. I was going to lead off Andrew Tate with my thing, but it's fine. Do your bus driver.
Oh, go on. No, go on.
Well, it's just a really quick one. I was sent. It's about stochastic terrorism, and I was sent a post by one of my followers on Twitter, and it's a really interesting post, which I'll put down below. But it's stochastic terrorism involves really influential figures using hostile language, and it can lead to well, specifically they think lone wolf attacks against people. So, you know, Andrew Tate is a perfect example of this, and he's one of these.
What's just happened?
Yeah, well, exactly. Charlie Kirk had just been shot in the neck, sorry. But people
he's
like
a raging stochastic terrorist. Raging.
Yeah, he is. He really is, and you're right. But this my follower Ricardo Onesto, he goes by @Ricardo Onesto, and I'll put a link to his tweet below. He put a sort of big long thread out about it, and with examples and with reference to particularly Reform UK at the moment as well. So I just wanted to mention it because I said I would, because it's a brilliant thread. So go and have a read, and then have a rethink about what you think about people like Tommy Robinson, Andrew Tate, etc., because they fit, and Farage, to be fair, fit into that bracket very, very nicely.
Do you know what's really sick though? I'm speaking about people with these very specific psychologies, and something I think I pointed out last week about Graham Linehan. What Kirk has done for years now has very likely cost him his life. Okay.
Quite possible. Yeah.
If it hasn't, the first thing he's going to do with this situation, once he's recovered, is monetize the fuck out of it.
Yep. Definitely.
That's not how sane, rational people react to situations like that. The pretend Trump shooting, the way he reacted, that's not how normal people, sane, rational people react.
Definitely not.
And, you know.
Yeah. No.
You pays your money,
I know, I
takes your
agree.
chance.
I think you're fully right with Charlie Kirk. I mean, I'm not going to advocate violence. I would never do that, and I don't want to see anyone get hurt, because this guy's definitely been hurt badly. If he hasn't, if he survives it, he'll be lucky, I think, from the video I've seen. But I think you're probably right. If he does come out the other side, he will be out there weaponizing it like Trump did.
Hey, you want to play culture wars? This is what you win.
I know. But Trump obviously wasn't shot, was he? But Charlie Kirk definitely has been at this moment in time. Anyway, that's go back to your bus driver, because that went a bit dark for a second with my stochastic terrorism. But go and read Ricardo's post, which I'll link to down below, please.
I know, it's just a quickie. My little bus driver I'll mention occasionally because he's ever so sweet. It's just a little...
Have you told him he's on the pod?
Well, he wasn't until I saw him last time, and you'll know why in a minute.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like, he stops the bus and buys me a chocolate bar. I mean, he gets himself stuff and, like, presents me with a chomp. It's very sweet. I don't eat that kind of chocolate. Thank you. He's just very kind, very friendly. We have a giggle. And I sat down this week, and as occasionally happens, I had the bus to myself. It's like having a massive private taxi.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember how it was triggered off. I must have made some comment about something or other. All I can remember, actually, is him going... I was sat on the back of the bus. He'd just pulled out and he went something along the lines of, yeah, but all we can do now is give that Nigel Farage a go.
Oh, no. Stop the bus. Oh, I'm getting off. Oh, balls.
What are you talking about? So, of course, I go into me, like, high-pitched, don't shout, just be...
Yeah.
I went, what could you possibly mean? The fuck, lad?
Oh, no.
I said, what is it about him being a massive pathological liar makes you think that he'd be a great choice? Well, what have we got now? I'm like, but it's not binary.
No, it's not. It's not Nigel Trump. Nigel Trump? Nigel, fuck. That was a Freudian slip. Nigel Farage or nothing is what I was trying to say.
I went, yeah, but come on, love. How fair is it that our people have got nowhere to live and we're giving them immigrants houses? Okay. I know you're a nice man, so we're going to do this nicely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not an either or.
No.
They are not our problem. You're closer to being an immigrant than you are to being a billionaire, who are the people that are causing all the problems we've got.
Yeah,
and then they go in, look at them and othering people. You know, so I tried to explain it, and I just went, look, I said, you might like my podcast. I said, because all we do, we're not partisan. We just don't like liars and dishonourable people. So we go after them. And then we praise the good people who do the good things. And sometimes we have a good laugh. So I wrote the pod down and I've given it to him. And if you're watching, hello. And next time I see you, I'll ask your name because it's quite rude, isn't it?
I was about to say, do you know his name? Get his name or we'll give him a shout out. Yeah.
So that was a little bit of fun.
That kind of, my last thing that I wanted to mention is very much tied up in that. And it's, if you don't mind me butting in there.
No, go on.
I saw Marina Purkis, who is phenomenal, but on Jeremy Vine during the week. And she was talking to Kwasi Kwarteng, of all people.
God love her, how she can be in the studio with him and, anyway.
I know. But they were talking about immigration and people calling in and saying, Kwasi Kwarteng was saying people are absolutely sick to the back teeth of all these people coming over. The usual.
That was it. Sorry, because he said all these immigrants, and I said, do you realise we've got 20,000 less immigrants than we had this time last year? Have we?
Yes, exactly. That's it. There's no... And Marina Purkis went on to pointed out to Kwasi Kwarteng. She said the amount of people that came on small boats last year wouldn't fill Bramall Lane Stadium in Sheffield, and she was right, because that's I think a 36,000 seater stadium, and I think 32,000 people came by boat or something. The figures might be plus or minus whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing that she said, and what I think is the biggest truth of this entire whole manufactured debate about immigration, is that if the small boat stopped tomorrow, the people that are moaning about it, their lives wouldn't be any different. It wouldn't impact them at all. That's it.
Not at all.
And that's the whole point, I think. And Marina nailed it when she said that to Kwasi Kwarteng. When you put it that simply, it is exactly, that's the cold hard fact of the matter. If they stopped small boats now, no more ever came again, the people that are moaning about it would not change their lives in any fashion whatsoever.
No.
And that's it.
No, it's just someone to blame because it's easier to...
Yeah, exactly.
shout at people who are down the road in a hotel than apparently it is to go and stand outside your hotel and shout.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
one of my followers, Amy, pointed out, she said, unfortunately, though, I think it would change for the worse, and because they always need a scapegoat. But who would be next? Disabled, certain religions, or the poor?
Yeah. Speaking of which, can we get that over and done with?
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners. Do you know what? I need to praise you this because you couldn't make it up. About when was it I last rang in and I put on Twitter, I'm just going to listen to LBC. How long am I going to last? It must be about a month ago.
Yeah.
And lasted 28 minutes. And weirdly, I turned it on and Sheila Fogarty is talking about endometriosis. Right? That's my expert field. Great. Yesterday, I thought, needs to do a bit of gardening. What can I put on? The trawl isn't out yet. I don't fancy YouTube, but I'll give LBC another go just on the off chance.
Yeah.
Weird. Really, really weird, because I switched it on and Tom Swarbrick's on there, just about to talk to a lady about the Access to Work scheme and PIP. And I'm like, fuck off.
I know about this.
This is weird. This is really weird. And then I was going to leave it. I really was. I was just going to listen. And then he opened up before the first lady came on by saying how when he was at work and he got sick pay, he took a week off work because he knew he could get away with it. Yeah. Immediately making out like anybody on the Access to Work scheme is blagging it and pulling a fast one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't let it go. So I rang in and I've not been able to listen to it because I hate the sound of my own voice. So we're going to do that now, listeners, if that's okay. We're all going to do it together so I feel safe.
Are you going to play it or do you want me to play it?
Oh, can you do it? Sorry, no, I just...
Let me find it.
Speechless, Stuart, thank you. Sally's in Liverpool. Sally.
Hiya. I can't understand how this is coming from such negative angles at all. And it's always from people who don't suffer and have no comprehension of what it is.
How do you know I don't suffer from it?
Well, because you started the broadcast by saying that you took a week off work because you couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, not a week.
Not
I took a few days off work.
Not everybody is that dishonest, Tom. Not everybody's that dishonest. Not everyone is like you, which seems to be the general thinking. Can you name me any financial circumstance in the history of man that somebody hasn't tried to game, and yet week in, week out, it's either disabled people or immigrants? And yet, you mentioned Access to Work cost, is it 258 million? How much did Michelle Mone take off with? How much does Lord Bamford owe to HMRC?
These are all valid questions.
Disabled people getting it in the neck.
These are sorry, but Sally, the point is not that there shouldn't be schemes available for people who need them to access work. I agree with that. I think that's a very good thing to do. It is very good to pay to help people stay in work because that contributes more, and it is incredibly good for that individual to be in that job.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
How on earth we have ended up with a system where you don't have to be diagnosed with a health condition to be eligible support to
because there aren't. Well, I'll tell you because my surgery was cancelled last week, Tom. I'm due to have spinal surgery, and it was cancelled at the last minute because we have a countrywide shortage of surgeons because Brexit, because wages are so out of kilter with the rest of the world.
Sally, I'm sorry to hear that I'm sorry to hear that your operation got cancelled. But Sally, presumably
are the ones that are getting kicked for it.
No, presumably you have a health condition that has led to you needing that surgery.
I have many, and the worst thing that happened to me, Tom, was I worked with them for 20 years, and finally I was either on too many painkillers to be of any use, or I was in too much pain.
Sally, there needs to be a system available to help you. I totally agree with you. Yeah. You are the person that needs to be prioritised. You are the person that needs to have money spent to help you get the surgery you need, the drugs you need to be able to do.
Because of the tiny amount of people that might be gaining the system, which is absolute peanuts relative to the mess we're in now and the money the Tories ran away with after the pandemic fire sale.
No,
it's just abhorrent.
We are about to spend 23% of all government spending is about to be on benefits in the next year. 23%, and it's only growing.
And tell me why. Tell me why we're paid the lowest benefits in all of Europe.
What do you mean the lowest benefits?
We get the lowest physical, monetary amount of benefit in all of Europe, Tom.
That cannot be true.
Like Slovakia.
It cannot be true based on the people who, the need of the people who is receiving the benefit. Are you saying on average? Are you saying on average we are the lowest? Are you saying on average we're paid the lowest? People are given the lowest benefits?
I'll tell you further than that. Apart from Australia and America, we're the lowest in the developed world, and they do not have the economic.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it to you, Sally, that's partly because there are too many people on it. And the reason why I say that is because we now have a part of the benefit system which allows you to get help to get access to work even though you don't have a medical condition. That cannot be right.
No. It's because you haven't been diagnosed with that condition.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't have one.
Do you know what? It's exactly the same as the immigrants. The government systems in place, because I know people who actually work in the visa system in the Home Office, the government systems are leaving the abuse wide open to be taken, just like with the tax.
But that's exactly the point I'm making, Sally. This is exactly the point I'm making. It is an insanity to have a part of the welfare system available to people to get them support they need for work when they don't have a health condition. That money needs to be available for you.
You don't know they've got a health condition because they haven't been able to see the professional they need to see because they don't exist.
But it wouldn't matter anyway.
And I'll wait.
It doesn't matter anyway. They could get it anyway.
You don't see a specialist and they can't find anything wrong with you. You don't get diagnosed with something.
Yes. Well, if you see a specialist and they say there's nothing wrong with you, you don't get diagnosed. You're absolutely right. But that's the view of the specialist who's attempting to diagnose you. Sally, I really, really wish you well. I understand where you're coming from completely. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to agree that it is a right thing to spend money on, to have a scheme available to help people with ill health back into work when there's no requirement on them to show that ill health has been diagnosed. I don't think that works, I'm afraid.
That's it.
Oh, was that it? Oh, it went on. They've cut quite a chunk out of that.
That's when it stopped. And then he went on to some breaking news about a woman who died in the channel. No, that's where it stopped.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't as terrible as it was fantastic. I always just want to do my best and make a difference, and it's hard under those circumstances, especially it's so patronising, man.
Yeah, he is. But you did brilliant. I said that to you on text before, and it's like you got your points across, and you were exactly bang on, and he was just trying to waterboutery himself out of every situation. And yeah, when you hit him with the low benefits thing, he was quite taken aback, I think, because he obviously didn't know that.
I was ignorant in it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're never going to agree that the government has a scheme to help people back into work that you don't need a diagnosis for. I agree in an ideal world. But unfortunately, we now have a situation where you can't get diagnosed for years while you're suffering and still trying to pay for the roof over your head. And worse than that, the benefit system have now said that they will not take privately paid for diagnoses as verbatim.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's literally stabbing people. No, that's not the right way of putting it. But you're boxing people into a corner.
Yeah.
And then you've got knobheads like him who don't understand what's going on, who just think it's fun to keep on picking on the most vulnerable in society and taking them a wage for it.
Yeah. Well, you did brilliant. So now you're a professional broadcaster on national radio.
If my body didn't betray me so much, because I'm still shaking just from listening to it, then, I'd be all right. But it's progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slow progress.
It was fantastic. Mm-hmm. It was great.
The only other thing that we need to quickly wang on about, there's two things. We can probably very quickly cover, I watched Tim Davie and Samir Shah from the BBC board in front of the committee in Parliament yesterday, discussing the BBC, basically. And I watched it for 2 hours, and the takeaways are Tim Davie's got the gift of the gab. Mm-hmm. He's accountable for sod all, but somehow persuades you that he's taking it all very seriously. He sees absolutely no impropriety over the political leanings of the guests they invariably have on. Anyone who tried to corner him, he just wormed his way out of. And why Labour aren't changing the BBC board is beyond me at this point.
Yeah, I know, it's strange.
It just makes no sense. You know,
as you say,
it sounded good until you really took apart what he was saying, which was not a great deal about anything.
No, that's why he's in position, isn't it? He can talk well.
I mean, you know, we had Nand. I shared a clip with you, didn't I? That Nandi was talking about how Ofcom are going to be taking action against GB News or something. I don't know what they've been doing for 14, 13 months, but apparently they are doing things.
Well, we're not going to hold our breath on that one, I don't think, because, well, fucking GB News is owned partially by Nigel Farage. So, I mean, how can a sitting MP own a news channel and present on said news channel with any degree of impartiality whatsoever? He can't, can he? So, yeah. We know how Ofcom works. It just lets anything happen.
It doesn't.
It does not work.
Need to doorstep Michael Grade. Where's he live? Probably Monaco or something.
Yeah, unlike or Montenegro. With some other people.
Do you know what? I'm feeling bereft. My pen's just broken on me and I've got nothing to twiddle with. The only other thing I had to talk about was the
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. I've got a new twiddly pen. It won't write. Oh, you know, it's a highlighter.
Smashed my microphone.
I just wanted to mention the new flotilla to Palestine. It's not just one ship this time. It's over 50. It's literally a flotilla of ships, an armada, one might say. Not a military expert. Don't pin me down on that.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say flown. No, sailed out of Barcelona. Over 50 boats from 40 countries, containing politicians, celebrities, doctors, and useful people, and a shitload of baby milk and required necessities. Also on the boat is Mandela Mandela, the grandson of Nigel Mandela, former terrorist come saviour of the world.
Nelson
Just
Mandela.
saying. Yeah, just saying. He was once designated a terrorist.
He was.
He wasn't a terrorist.
No, absolutely not. You just said
That
Nigel
happens.
Mandela, that was all.
Did I?
Yeah. You said Nigel Mandela. I'm just saying, another Freudian slip there. Yeah, no, Nelson Mandela, you're right. I didn't know his grandson was on there.
Do you know what it is? Mandela's like Mansell.
Right, it's a moustache.
It's my stupid brain.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't know his grandson was on there. That's really interesting.
And last night, one of them was attacked by a drone.
It was.
Off the coast of Tunisia. Various sources suggest it was an onboard flare that exploded or a cigarette fire.
Horse shit. Yeah.
That was what Israel was suggesting happened.
I know. It's mad.
Because we know that they're always honest.
And if you look at the video that shows the evidence, it's straight down into the boat.
Yeah. Never seen a cigarette like that in my life before, and I've seen a lot.
Yeah, so, I hope they get there all right.
Yeah.
People with good intentions doing good things.
Well, do you know what? So there's a few people online. Hi, son. Found his way in the back door. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's a few people online giving it all people who want the attention to be on themselves. And I take issue with that because it's the very same people who can't comprehend people doing things for the greater good without salary attached to it.
Exactly.
And as people who literally are doing that because our country is in such a mess, I find it fucking offensive, to be frank, that there are people out there, and yes, Peter, if you're listening, I'm talking about you, my friend, and various other unknowns on Twitter, who think this is a vanity project. Well, do you know what? If there's a group of people who are being ritually murdered and tortured and starved to death, and nobody in power is doing anything to actually abate this over and above what they're allegedly making efforts to do within diplomatic nonsense, ain't working, then we will mobilise ourselves. That's how people like us who really do fucking care work.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
if I was a different type of activist with, you know, a working body and shit, I'd probably be on one of them right now. Because you get so passionate and so, what's the fucking point of life if we're going to sit by and let this disgusting evil happen? There are lots of people like us, thank God, and a lot of them are sailing towards Gaza right now. But it may not work. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what if Israel even has a navy, whether they've got one that can cope with that amount of ships. Who knows what's going to happen? But you can't just pick off. Like, you can't just pick up the people from one boat when there are over 50 of them.
No,
so
it's different.
All these people are willing to die for what they're doing, or they wouldn't be doing it, because it means that much, because it should mean that much to everybody.
Yeah. Well
and it's not highly sensitive people being dramatic or hysterical. It's people who are saying, this shit stops with me. And all power to them.
Yes. Well said.
Thank you.
Absolutely
That's
brilliant.
all I've got to say about that, because it just is so selfish.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, leave it, because we'll keep an eye on it and we'll report back and as and when things happen on that. So, but yeah, you're dead on. I can't add any more to that.
Thank you.
So yes, time-wise, we're gonna have to cut it off. But I've got one absolutely hilarious thing that I'd found out that I've forgotten to put in my notes. And it's back to Dame Andrea Jenkins to finish off the show for part 2. Yesterday, she put out a post in the afternoon saying, someone has taken control of my public Facebook page and removed me as an admin. The same has happened with my Instagram too. So I can't post, but we'll continue to post to X. Someone's hacked Andrea Jenkins' Insta and Facebook, and I just found it absolutely hilarious.
Do you know what? It's not often I can relate to that woman. But when it comes to the age and the technical abilities, I'm probably on a par.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But, fuck around, find out and stuff off.
So on that note, I'm going to put a clip in of Andrea Jenkins to sing us out.
Why would you do that to our listeners? What have they ever done to you, Tom?
Of course, I'm never going to do that. No, I will not do that.
Put Tilly on instead.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'll put Matilda Thorpe in at the end. That's a great idea. Yeah. So on that cyber attacking bombshell, I think we should say goodbye. Oh, no.
Yes, I will say goodbye with my usual, please like, share, subscribe, and spread the truth. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a Ko-fi link, and it's purely because the way this system that we're now having to work with works is that if we can donate money to the social, then they can bump us up and spread the truth. Yes. So Don and I are currently funding that ourselves and our various subscriptions and stuff that we need to run the pod. So any donations are very, very much appreciated, especially in this climate, because we're all aware how shit it is. So thank you for your support.
Yeah, thank you to those who have already donated. You know who you are, and you are wildly appreciated. Thank you. So, yes, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a fantastic weekend. Mm-hmm. This might even be out early this week on time. Right. Ciao.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to our daily reform meeting. We do have a couple of issues at hand today. The press going after Nigel with his second home in Clapton's tax situation. Secondly, the anti-vax speaker we had at the reform conference. Any ideas or thoughts on how we handle this today? Not a clue. Andrea, as the most experienced female politician in the room, how do you think we should handle this? Avoiding tax and farage, anti-vax and farage, go together like a horse and carriage. Hacks will forget what they wanted to say. When they hear my song Insomniac, they'll go away. Make UK great again, Mugger doesn't sound the same. 14 councillors resigned, we don't take the blame. Just sing the anthem to the Queen. Everyone forgets that she's a royal has-been. When they try and disparage reform or Mr. Farage, don't try and defend being anti-gay marriage. If you think you've done something wrong, the best thing to do, the best thing to do, the best thing to do is sing a terrible song. Right, thank you. Any other suggestions? Is this part of the job?